What's good, guys? How my hair look? We already know. Be looking fire. Oh shoot, I gotta get through this intersection right here. Shout out to all them ducks. We in Duck City. Or we in Canyon City. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk. I'm your host, Samuel Romero, but everyone calls me Sammy. And I decided that today is a pretty good day to be talking about the issues at hand of our world today, and pretty much getting right down to business. But what I've been thinking about moving along in this life of ours and trying to be successful and on my journey and on my quest to success, a lot of the things I've been thinking about is how we do content. And yes, as always, my friends, Real Talk is in these video formats of like 17 to 20 minutes where I just have some real conversations, real discussions, and real talk. You know, Jerry? You know, Jerry Maguire? You know, show me the money. Show me the money. But yeah, man, we just out here. I like fixing up my hair and stuff. But as I've been on YouTube and experimenting for the most part since my drive to create, and the drive to create was pretty much an era of me creating YouTube videos for the first time at 14 years old, just trying to figure out what kind of YouTube videos to make. I had some good memories in those YouTube videos, and I'll never forget my best friend who first introduced me to YouTube. Because back in the day, back in elementary school, there was a group of kids that went to my elementary school, and by far I would say that elementary school was the greatest years of my life. It wasn't high school, it wasn't middle school. Hell, it's probably not even the rise right now, and probably when I get rich in the future. But my best years of my life was actually in my childhood, in elementary school, K through 6, not 6 through 12. And during K through 6 in my elementary school program, when I was of the young tender ages of 11, 12, 13, there's this group of kids, and one of the kids being one of my closest friends that I grew up with and was closest to more than anyone, and when we first met in kindergarten. Shout out to him, man. If you're watching this, bro, you know who you are. I appreciate you, man. Always. And in this group of kids, there's this YouTube community at a very, very early age in this group of kids at elementary school that I wasn't a part of. I wasn't a part of this group of YouTubers. They were first called the Enders, where they played Minecraft and all that good elementary school fun stuff. And these kids, they played Minecraft and did Minecraft videos on YouTube, and first called themselves the Enders and the Ender Kids. The Ender Kids. There's the Ender Kid 1, the Ender Kid 2, like Thing 1 and Thing 2, and Dr. Seuss. But we were the Ender Kids. And the Ender Kids were a group of friends of mine that were creating Minecraft videos on YouTube in like the early years of 2013 and 14 and 15. And then later the Ender Kids transitioned from the Ender Kids to Hope Clan. They call themselves the Hope Clan. And they later transitioned from the Minecraft to the Call of Duty games. But, you know, I was never a gamer myself. I didn't have a computer at that early age growing up like that, you know. But they still influenced me because I watched their videos. And it was a group that I loved seeing in elementary school growing up. And eventually, you know, that's why the high performance people say, you are who you hang around with. And the kids that I was hanging around at the time, I became one of them, and I became who I was hanging around with. Because these kids were on this platform, this innovative YouTube platform called YouTube, where you can upload videos of yourself and play games and record, you know. And I said, well, what's YouTube? How do I get started? How do I get started? And my best friend, he was the guy who was part of the Ender clan and the Hope clan in elementary school, and he took me under his wing, man, and he introduced me to the YouTube world. And he said that I could get started doing videos of my own. They don't have to be gaming videos because I don't have a computer to play these video games at that early age. I didn't get a computer until I was 16 or 15 or 16. I got a computer. I first got my first desktop computer in 2017. And it was probably before October in 2017, and in 2017 I had to have been 15. So my first computer that I got was a desktop with 2 terabytes space on Amazon. Thank you, Dad. Never forget it. And that was my first computer that I actually received at 15. And when I received my first computer, you know, that's when I started making more videos. But this guy, my best friend, growing up in elementary school, he took me under his wing and he got me started on YouTube. He helped me make my videos, my first videos on YouTube. He taught me which devices to get. He showed me the way. He showed me how to shine on YouTube. He edited my first videos at 14 is when I was starting though. I got my first computer when I was 15, but I started doing the videos at 14. Man, that's why I'm forever in his debt, man. And anything that he needs, you know, I got him, man. I'm always here for you, bro. You know who you are. Appreciate you. But that goes to my next point in today's video topic of today. Sometimes you have fallouts. We have certain things that happen to us. Since elementary school and up until now, I haven't kept up with my friends as much as I'd like to. After elementary school, you know, you just go about this life in your own way. And we drift apart. Friends drift apart. Families start changing. People start moving out of their homes into new homes. That's what happens. That's what happens when change happens. And change is inevitable. That's something that's inevitable in life, is change. But going back to today's topic, what I would like to discuss is when change happens. When change happens, you start changing. You start going through the motions, and life gets tougher. And you don't see your friends as much that you grew up with. And things happen. And if there's one thing that you should know about change, is that in the wise words of The Walking Dead, I don't want to say the bad word, but I'll say it really low for you. Hey, shit happens. I don't like cussing on this YouTube channel. This is a YouTube family-friendly channel. Maybe I'll have to censor that bad word. Don't like using bad words. No bad words. But guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Shit happens. But I'll transition that word from that bad word into the TV family-friendly word, stuff. And I'll say stuff happens. Stuff happens, friends. Stuff happens. Life happens. Change happens. As you get older and as you keep going about this life, you got to know that change happens. Stuff happens. And when stuff happens in life, you got to find a way to keep exploring life and tasting things, as Gary Vee says. That's why I often reference the guys that I look up to, like Gary Vee. You know, Gary Vee is a really great he's a really great advocate to self-improvement and personal development. And I've always been a kid who wanted to improve myself. You know, ever since I can remember, I've always been into personal development. I think the first guy I heard, I was growing up as a kid, and the first tape I was exposed to on video cassette was a video that my dad had from years ago, because my dad used to be a hotel manager. He worked at Marriott. And one time he met up with Tony Robbins, you know, and that was a great experience for my dad, you know. But I think from his hotel job, and yes, these videos require dogs and cats and mice in the background. I just hope that I don't get my face ripped off by a dog. Thank you, all the Americans and American homeowners and the American families who take care of their dogs. Shout out to all the American people out there who raise American families and take care of their pets. Hopefully, when you're out and about with your pet, you have a leash on him, good, so that dog didn't rip someone's face off. But I lost my train. Whenever I'm walking and talking, you know, there's always dogs and cats and mice in the background. I remember Tony Robbins. Can I do an impression of Tony? I'm gonna attempt my best Tony Robbins impression. You know, if you have your life set up, in front of you, you know, really the gateway to happiness is you gotta be proud of that, and you gotta say to yourself, look into my eyes
and count to 10. And close your eyes and what do you see? You see your future. You see your success happening. You see your family and your children happening. And that's what really happiness is about. It's really an expansion of massive self-improvement. See, that's happiness, man. You know, why are you depressed? Is it the shoes? Because they're fucking red. Best Tony Robbins impression. But I remember seeing a Tony Robbins tape at a very early age. It must have been one of his early seminars back in the 90s, in the Y2K era. 90s and early 2000s. I know Y2K was a massive mass hysteria temper tantrum that happened back in the 2000s. But Y2K was also an era of Justin Timberlake, Destiny Child, and a bunch of other great artists. Shout out to Samuel Romero Records, where I make my music. But anyways, must have been during that time when I was witnessing that tape. So at a very early age, I was always a proponent and an advocate of self-improvement and personal development. Because at a very early age, I knew that I wanted to help people. That's my passion in life. That's my number one passion in life. I want you guys to know it's human resources. It's giving resources to the human, to the humans, to the human race. It's helping people. It's giving people an opportunity. It's networking. It's selling. It's business. It's life. It's humanity. That's my passion, man. And the closer that we achieve humanity is basically happiness amongst everyone. That's what humanity is. And the closer that us high performance, self-improvement, personal development gurus get to humanity, the closer we get to our goal of humanity, sometimes it gets hard along the way to achieve that goal. So when change happens and when life happens and when people drift apart and when people change and when stuff happens, you get depressed along the way, or you get sad and you get burnt out and you just want to curl up in a ball and die. Frank Sinatra song. But yeah, I mean, that stuff happens, guys. When that stuff happens, just remember, you go at your own pace. There's no rush. There's no end game that you gotta save the world from Thanos. Because you're just a human being. You're only human. And you can't control everything. But you can control the things around you. When life gets hard, and life has been harder than it ever has been before. Inflation prices are high.
You know, the economy's rough. It's never been harder to be an entrepreneur, as it's never been easier to be an entrepreneur as well. But you know, we got all this change going on, and we're living in 2024, a year in an era where there's never been more change than there ever has been in the history of humanity and the world. So when life gets tough, when things are just out of your control, you know, it's no shame to take a break. Take a break, man. You know, put the pen down. Relax, you know. And I get why the Gen Zers of my generation, shout out to Gen Z, Riz. I get why we're all into quiet quitting, and why the news is saying that Gen Z doesn't want to work. It's not that we don't want to work, we want to work. It's just that we believe as a society the world has evolved into a more fulfilling one, where we don't have to, with our technology and with what we've been able to accomplish in our human endeavors, we as Gen Z do not believe that hard labor work is no longer necessary. And that is why we as Gen Zers have evolved into special, more higher frequency human beings that understand about the world more than ever before, because we are the natives of technology, and we understand about technology and about the world more than any other generation in the history of the world and of humanity. We were Gen Zers growing up. We were part of what was known as the information age. And in the information age, we were exposed to rapid fire, non-stop information like nobody has ever seen before. So we know about more things in detail and in the specifics. We know about what it takes to work hard. We know about what it takes and how to get things done without working so hard. We have this information about the world because we were exposed at a very early age to the information age. So with this information that we have about the world, we no longer feel that it's necessary to work hard labor jobs. We have this technology of artificial intelligence and now generative AI at our disposal. So why must we as Gen Z, if we have all this technology and we have all these resources and this information and this opportunity to do all these number of jobs that have been cultivated since the millennial generation of the social network and Mark Zuckerberg. If we have all this technology and this opportunity, why must we continue to work these unimportant, tiring, suffering, dead-end jobs of the past? We have evolved as a human species and as a race to pursue jobs and pursue opportunities that are more fulfilling to us in the human spirit. That is what we feel as Gen Z. And that is why we don't want to work. we still must work, and which is very interesting. You know, that's a very interesting topic to talk about. Maybe in the next video. But if guys, if life is suffering and change is happening in your life like crazy, don't feel ashamed to take a break. Take a break and come back and do it another day. Take a year off, take 6 months off, take 3 weeks off. There's more opportunity. There's enough opportunity for everyone to go around. We're living in 2024. Anyone can get rich. Change happens, but the answer is to take a break, stop and think, pivot, change your course, take life as it comes, and move forward. You know? That's it. Not rocket science. It's not complicated. It's chill. It's Riz. It's yeah. Whatever the cool kids are saying today. But that'll be an interesting topic to talk about in another video. With all this technology and this advancement that we've had over the past years. And I call this the advancement dilemma. Why are we still living in what appears to be the 1950s? Talk to you later. True.